Welcome to Gene and Mike do the New York Times crossword.
Hi, I'm Jean.
And I'm Mike. And today we're doing the crossword for Thursday, January 2nd, 2025. So, did you do the crossword?
I did do the crossword.
And what did you think?
I loved it.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. To what do you attribute that love, that passion?
Well, it was a bit of a challenge.
Mm-hmm.
There was a gimmick to it that you had to figure out before you could actually solve the puzzle.
Mm-hmm.
But it also had a sort of a double theme because it also had a quote in it.
Mm-hmm.
A quote by the great comic Stephen Wright, which I always find him very funny.
Yes.
So I enjoyed that as well.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting. Patrick Berry is this guy who wrote this great book on how to write crosswords. And one of the things he says is you got to be really careful when you choose a quip. Or when he talked about quotes and quips. So a quote would be from somebody else. A quip would be something that you write. But he said for quotes and quips, it's got to be good. And because if it's not, the whole crossword either sinks or swims on the basis of that. Mm-hmm. And he suggested you should generally pick something that's amusing. Uh-huh. And so, he started with Stephen Wright, so it's bound to be. And it was quite funny.
Yes, it was.
So, but he must have read the Patrick Berry book.
I guess so. Mm-hmm.
Since we are talking about the theme, why don't you expand on that?
All right. Well, part of the theme was the quip by comic Stephen Wright that started at 20 across and then continued to 35 across and then finally 52 across. And the answer to that was, why isn't the word phonetically spelled with an F? Which is funny.
Yeah.
Why isn't the word phonetically spelled with an F? Okay, so that was the first part. But in this puzzle, the word phonetically was spelled with an F, or it could have been, because there were a number of answers to clues that instead of having a PH, which makes the F sound, you could insert an F just in one square, and it would solve. Mm-hmm. Starting with one across. First in a series. Alpha is the answer. There are only 4 squares. And the 3 down, which is where the P and the H would have to be for the correct spelling of alpha, the clue was worn at the edges. Well, the only answer you can have for that pretty much is frayed, which begins with an F. So if you put in A-L-F-A and then the F going down, forming the word frayed, it worked. That was considered an okay answer.
Right.
5 across. The second across clue, pixel rival. Now here's where it's handy to have a partner who knows a lot about tech, because I had no idea what a pixel was, but our youngest and I worked together on this, and the answer was iPhone, but it was spelled I-F-O-N-E, with the F at 6 down, beginning of 6 down, craft kit fabrics, which were felts. Mm-hmm. So, and so on and so forth. And we had 1, 2, 3, 4,
8.
5, 6, 7, 8.
We had 8 of these.
The top 3, and then the bottom 3, and then 2 in the middle, one of them being phonetically the word in the Stephen Wright quote. Mm-hmm. The other one being 40 across, plotted, which was graft, spelled with an F, G-R-A-F-E-D instead of P-H-E-D. And the down clue, it was the second square in the down clue, 36 down, looks that way, unfortunately. And the answer to that was afraid so. That is where the F was in the second square.
Right.
That crossed with graft. Okay, so if you get it all filled in, putting F's where the PHs belonged in the across clues, but an F was appropriate for the down clues. If you get it all solved and get the happy music and then look at the puzzle, you can see that a rebus has been put in there with PH/F.
Right.
And I assume you could have done it that way, put in a rebus.
Yep.
Or maybe you could have just put in PH.
I think so.
And it would have solved.
I think the answer they were looking for was a PH/F, which is what appears when you solve the crossword, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
But because, as we've mentioned before, the people on wordplay become incensed when they can't solve the crossword because they aren't sure what to put in the rebus square. They'll just take anything.
Well,
put a $20 bill in there and they'll accept it.
Well, and I mean, I have been in that situation where I know everything is right, but it's just, I didn't put the rebus in with a slash versus a dash or whatever. So it's good that they do that.
I would like to know what it's like to know that you've got everything right. I've never experienced that. I'm hoping to at one time.
Well, the reason I knew is because I actually looked at the answer key and it's like, it's right. Everything is right. But I still couldn't get it to solve. Mm-hmm. So anyway, that was the theme. It was very clever. And of course, the Stephen Wright quote was funny. And so, and doing it with our youngest, I mean, it just shows like when you have two generations, one that is into tech and gaming and things like that, and the other that's into more literature and art and pop culture. It's a dynamo of a duo to do the latest New York Times crossword, because boy, we just zip right through it. And once we figured out the theme, actually our youngest figured out the theme with the F and the PH. We just tore through it.
See, I thought I first saw that something was afoot at 10 across, snap, photo, and 10 down, caught alternative was a futon.
Right.
And I put in the F and I thought, oh, all right, they're going to make me spell photo with an F. How cute. Uh-huh. And then I got iPhone next with an F, and I thought, well, this is sort of dumb. But okay, if they want to just play around with the English language a bit. But then I didn't realize that the point was I was supposed to be putting in that full PH/F. Mm-hmm. That was really, because so they weren't trying to violate any laws of spelling, as it were.
Right. But it kind of went along with the joke in the quote.
Sure.
Why isn't phonetically spelled with an F?
Right.
So in this puzzle, it could be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they did a great job. The only clue that I really didn't recognize, 62 across, flower whose name means flame in ancient Greek was a phlox.
Phlox, yes.
PHLOX.
Right.
Have you ever heard of a phlox?
Oh, yes.
You have?
Oh, yes.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Does the Green Bay Botanical Center have a host of phlox somewhere?
They do.
Oh, really?
They do, and of course in the summer, not now, but
because there's snow on the ground and you couldn't see the phlox. I mean, they are.
The ground is frozen right now.
The name means flame. Maybe they could melt the snow.
That'd be nice, but no, not now. But yes, in the summer, it's a summer perennial, I believe, and very pretty.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That L of phlox ended 39 down, noxious, miasmal.
Yes.
It's like, whoa, there's a $100 word right there.
There is. Uh-huh.
I was highly impressed. And then next to that, 35 down, like cuisine with, hang on, there's going to be a brief pause here while I try and figure out how to pronounce this, lumpia and Longganisa, mm-hmm. And it was Filipino.
That is correct.
Have you ever had any lumpia
or
Longganisa?
I don't know that I've ever had any Filipino cuisine. I don't think so.
Listeners, if you've ever enjoyed lumpia and or Longganisa, or no, let me try that one more time, Longganisa, let us know. crosswordpodcast@icloud.com. You can start your email by telling us how to pronounce it and then what makes it so good. Let's see. I like 5 down. Possible response to where are you? I'm here. I'm in here.
I'm in here.
Yeah.
Yes, that is definitely a possible response.
Mm-hmm. And they had another comedian in the grid, Comedian Trevor, 8 down, was Noah.
That's right.
I still miss him on the Daily Show. Although I got to admit, the guy they got now is pretty good.
Very, very funny. Very funny man.
I did not know 32 across. Blank Robinson, mother of Michelle Obama, was Marion.
That's correct.
Did you know that?
Yes.
Okay. Let's see.
33 down was let blank. And I thought, oh gosh, that could be so many things, but it was let it go.
Yes.
Shades of Frozen.
Yeah.
Which we are here in Northwest Wisconsin.
It's 20 degrees. It's fine. It's warm. That's why it took me so long to do the crossword. As soon as I got to 33 down, I just burst into song, and it took me 5 minutes to go through the whole song.
Yes.
I mean, first I had to get the orchestra in the room to sing along with me.
But doesn't that happen to everybody?
Well, there are a lot of songs that, if like Tito Puente, the king of Mambo, or the other king of Mambo.
Yes. What was his name? Leon or Leo or something?
I don't know.
No, Lou. It was Lou.
Lou Reed's. No, probably not Lou Reed.
We got to figure out who that Lou is.
Yes. We had another clue that we have seen before, and I didn't get it then, and I didn't get it now. 2 down, 12-time Olympic swimming medalist Ryan Blank, and it was Ryan LOCHTE.
Yes.
And as I recall, you got it last time?
Well, I didn't know how to spell it, but this time I did because we just had it. So, yeah.
See, I can't remember the answer, but I can remember that you remembered the answer. It doesn't really help as much as you'd think.
I knew the name, but I didn't know how to spell it. But
this
time we filled it right in.
I'm assuming your partner, if not you, got 9 down, blank game, 1986 Hugo Award winner, Ender's Game.
You got that, yes.
Yep. 46 down, they have 9 players, no nets.
Yes.
That was good.
It was, yes. And of course we were thinking, well, baseball team, well, right away, but no, not nets.
Different kinds of players. Let's see, what else did we have? We had French buds, 38 across was Ami.
That's right.
And plotted we already talked about this, 40 across, plotted was graft.
Right.
I thought that was sort of interesting. And 60 across, cricket segments are overs.
Yes, we've had that before too, and I always forget they're overs.
Well, you're going to have to watch some cricket.
I guess. I don't really know how cricket is played. I mean, I've seen cricket being played, and I know there's a bat, and I know there's
ashes.
Running.
There's ashes, I believe.
Ashes?
I believe ashes are involved.
Oh.
I say this on the basis of having read Douglas Adams' Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy trilogy.
Well, I don't know about the ashes, but I know there's a bat, and I know they run, but I don't understand the rules at all. So,
well, the people who play cricket feel the same about American football, so you're even.
I'm sure.
So, overs first appeared in November of 1943, when it was clued as shots that fall beyond the target.
Oh, my.
And then, interestingly, in 1948, when it next appeared, it was clued as extra impressions of a print job. Are overs.
Well, that has nothing to do with cricket.
No. And then the third time it was thick felt boots worn by farmers. Overs.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, really. And then additional things were overs. I mean, you've got leftovers. The first reference to cricket appeared in 1966. Cricket intervals.
Overs.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And then hangs suspended was overs. I'm just not used to the word overs in the plural.
No.
It just seems not quite cricket, so to speak.
I suppose.
That's not quite how you'd use cricket, but I know it wasn't quite cricket to use cricket the way I just did.
Right.
I'm gonna stop cricking all these jokes.
Good idea.
Okay, I should stop while I'm behind. Too late. Let's see. Adjust on the timeline. 27 across was redate. Yes. Which I thought was an interesting clue.
Yes, very. I've never heard that word before. Redate.
Redate. And I've heard of rebate. You useless rebate you. Yes. But it was not a debut, so it's been there before.
Okay.
Let's see. I think.
15 across. That was a stumper for us for quite a while. Bases loaded example turned out to be men on.
Right.
That was kind of different.
Yeah.
It makes sense. How many men are on? Well, bases loaded, so 3.
But somehow just say you've got men on. That
Men
would
on.
include 2, which wouldn't be bases loaded.
Well, no.
Well, okay, it says bases loaded as an example.
Yes.
So just to say you've got men, yeah, okay. I get it now.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah.
But it's just like, oh, yeah, I guess you could say that men on.
All right. Well, I think that's probably it for the crossword.
Sounds good to me.
And this crossword was by Robert Charlton, his second. So well done, Robert.
Yes.
5 squares in the Jam CR scale, I would say.
I think that would be right.
All right. We are unanimous in this. So well done, Robert. We're looking forward to crossword number 3. And that is it for today. Thanks, everyone, for listening. Hoping your new year is starting off well. And we will be back again with our cutting-edge analysis of tomorrow's crossword tomorrow.
Bye-bye.